What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. We are back. John Delarose here, delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. Head to the link in my description below, sign up for my newsletter, and get a free graphic novel from me. And when you've done that, go onto Amazon and grab the AI Wars #1, my new science fiction comic. It's awesome. Everybody who's read it loves it. You should join in with the cool crowd. All right, we have more retarded things going on today. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word anymore, but when I say that, know that I mean the musical term to slow down and not anything that's ban-worthy or whatever. Today, we have artist, who's a comic artist, Patrick Zurcher, just saying something completely innocuous. Trying to remember what we ate the most before broader ethnic diversity. Pork chops, hamburgers, hot dogs, cheap steaks, fried chicken, fried perch, ham, bologna, corn, potatoes, baked mashed or fried, butter beans, green beans, noodles, dinner rolls, and Jello. And that's it. He's, that's kind of boomer meal talk, but he's just talking about what he enjoyed eating, and that's what he gets. Well, of course, you can't just make innocuous observations in Twitter, other social medias, real life, anywhere anymore if you are a white male working in the comic industry or sci-fi industry or any entertainment industry. You'll get piled on because that is what they do. So it started out with Jamel Egel, who is a race-baiting, angry guy who's blocked me on Twitter, of course, even though I've read several of his books. I think his art's pretty decent, very sad. And I don't really remember interacting with him, so that's how it goes. And of course, he says this tweet puts raisins in its potato salad and thinks Miracle Whip is spicy. There you go. He, of course, was trying to knock the tweet a little bit, knock what he's eating, I guess, and didn't just quote tweet him. He did that whole screen capture thing. You do that when you're kind of scared to tag somebody when you're in a position like Jamel Egel. But he did it anyway, and of course, here comes the cancel brigade. One, he's talking about the tweet here. Who the F is we? That's a cowardly way to imply white folks. Of course, this is Kwanzaa. If you guys know Kwanzaa and his race baiting, he is some of the worst in comics. Just a terrible, terrible race baiter who just gets very angry at people on Twitter, and this is kind of his entire brand. He doesn't really offer much other than that, so that's why people follow him. Everyone has roots in Native American or cultures abroad. So now, of course, Patch here is culturally appropriating hamburgers and hot dogs. It couldn't get worse for the poor Patrick Zurcher. Oh my gosh. White folks and their cultural appropriation. So terrible. Here we go. Did he cross over to that other crew officially then, says the comments. And of course, when we get into this sort of thing, we're doing the virtue signaling, and we're saying, oh, we don't like this guy because is he Comicsgate? And they want to label him Comicsgate in order to initiate the pile-on. This is how it goes. Kwanzaa, of course, makes the statement, trying to imply that he's racist, trying to imply that he's culturally appropriating hot dogs. Bizarre. And then the full pile-on begins. And Jamel Egel, of course, says he borders in it, but never seems to make the full leap. So he's trying to signal to his crowd that this is a guy who is cancelable. Are we gonna go full cancel on him? Are we gonna go full cancel? I don't know. They haven't made the decision quite yet. And Kwanzaa calls it cowardly, whatever that means. I guess he's saying that Patrick Zurcher should go full Comicsgate. Probably should at this point because there's no loss. You're going to get canceled anyway as a white man in the industry. He's been the subject of their ire on a few occasions. I suspect the only reason he's not a member of the hate group is limited strictly to being an occasional target of the hate group. When you're too pompous for the Nazis. Yeah, they don't really have much substance here, but they're willing to talk smack about this guy who's a decent artist in the industry who really doesn't bother anybody. Again, he doesn't really declare his allegiance or anything like that towards any particular hashtag or whatever. It's just he has the crime of existing and not being super political all the time, which is too much for these gossipers on twitter.com. So, of course, Jamel posts, it's a small industry, I'd rather elevate the people around me than think of them as competition. Ironic, as they just started a little gossip brigade in order to try to destroy this competitor. They'd never have any self-awareness here. I would love to elevate Jamel Egel and myself, and would happily love to talk to these people and just have a nice discussion about comic books. But they would never be able to do so. And that's just what happens around these types. They just are always in full gossip mode. Even when they're making comments like this, it's always disingenuous. There's never any way to actually have a real conversation, to care about comics, to care about your fellows in the industry. It's always seek and destroy, and then worry about being canceled by who you're associated with. And that's just not the way to live life. And that's why I'm just having fun these days, hanging out with the Comicsgate crew and making great comics myself. All right, everybody, hit that like and subscribe button. Have a great weekend. And hopefully there's nothing else all that interesting on here. I should mention that this video is brought to you by the great folk at Kiwi Farms. So thank you for giving me some more nice screenshots to mine. I appreciate you guys over there. See you soon.